To the galaxy, humanity was insignificant. Reports described them as a minor species, barely advanced enough to maintain a handful of outdated warships. Their technology was considered primitive, their numbers laughably small. No alien empire bothered to monitor Earth closely. To them, humans were observers at best, trivia in the grand narrative of galactic power. And that was exactly how humanity wanted it. Suspense built in the void as human ships began to appear near the edges of the Valen sector, a volatile region fought over by the Orion and Perseus empires. The humans did not broadcast their presence. Minimal signals were sent, almost nothing, just enough to be noticed if someone was looking carefully. Yet, beneath this quiet facade, massive fleets lay cloaked, hidden in the shadows of asteroid belts and dark nebulae. Alien scouts were the first to encounter them. The small Orion reconnaissance ships blinked into sensor range, their commanders expecting an easy target. Instead, what they saw made them pause. No human fleets were visible on the main sensor arrays, yet strange fluctuations rippled through space. Energy distortions, minor hyperlane anomalies, and communication bursts that did not make sense. The humans were intelligent. More than that, they were patient. They anticipated every scanning pattern the aliens employed. Where alien sensors swept once, human stealth systems already moved. Where aliens tried to predict the path of human vessels, the humans had chosen paths that left no trace. No early conflict, no aggressive maneuvers, only careful observation and precise positioning. Every move was calculated to be invisible, yet perfectly strategic. In a key moment, the Orion commander, a tall, scaled being named Krelvash, hesitated before sending attack orders. His tentacles twitched over the command console as he debated with his officers. "Do we engage them?" he asked, voice low and uncertain. "They are insignificant. Yet, something in their readings does not make sense." His second-in-command, a slender alien with bioluminescent markings, replied nervously, "They appear weak, yes, but our scans are inconsistent. Hyperlane anomalies, energy fluctuations, they seem to anticipate our every probe. It is unnatural." Meanwhile, the humans worked silently. From the bridge of the flagship Aegis, Captain Marcus Hale observed the alien fleet through multiple layers of cloaking sensors and advanced quantum monitoring systems. "They are cautious," he said calmly to his officers. "Good. That gives us time. Map every hyperlane, every patrol route. Note their weak points, their supply lines, and their command nodes. We move only when we control the advantage completely." Lieutenant Anya Voss nodded, her fingers flying over the console. "All sectors scanned, Captain. Hyperlane traffic mapped. The aliens do not know we are here, not yet." Hale's eyes narrowed. "Let's keep it that way. They think humans are weak and they will act accordingly. Every empire has blind spots, every fleet has habits. We learn them, exploit them, and stay invisible until the moment we strike. Apex is patience first, action second." Back in the Orion Command Center, Krelvash's anxiety grew. Reports from alien envoys indicated strange anomalies in human communications. "Every message we intercept, every probe we send, they seem to predict it before it happens," the envoy reported. "It is as if they can see our intent before we act." The room went silent. Whispers echoed from various consoles. The other officers were uneasy. One muttered, "It cannot be. They are a minor species. How can they anticipate our moves?" Krelvash's tentacles clenched. "Perhaps we have underestimated them, but how much? I will not commit to battle blindly. Proceed with extreme caution. Monitor every signal. Do not engage unless absolutely necessary." While the aliens hesitated, humans quietly prepared. Drones slipped through asteroid fields, scanning and mapping alien formations without being detected. Leviathans, massive phased warships, moved silently in the shadows, ready to appear at the exact point of advantage if required. Suspense filled the void. The first contact had created tension, not through battle but through uncertainty. The humans were not loud. They did not need to be. Every observation, every calculation, every stealth maneuver sent a clear message to the galaxy. This species may be small, but it was far smarter than anyone had imagined. In that moment, the galaxy remained unaware that everything was about to change. Fleets thought insignificant, tactics thought simple, and civilizations thought secure were quietly learning a dangerous truth. Humans were not to be dismissed. Every empire that underestimated humanity had just glimpsed the first hint of apex intelligence. A shadow in the void, invisible yet unstoppable, quietly mapping, calculating, and waiting for the moment when the galaxy itself would tremble. Alien underestimation. The alien empires watched the humans carefully but dismissed them as a minor annoyance. To them, the humans' fleet was too small, too outdated, and too slow to matter. Orion commanders laughed at the notion of taking humans seriously. Perseus admirals argued that sending a few probe ships would be enough to confirm the species' insignificance. Yet the humans were prepared. Captain Marcus Hale knew the galaxy would never understand their true strength until it was too late. From the bridge of the Aegis, he observed alien fleets moving through mapped hyperlanes, unaware that every step had already been anticipated. "Everything they do is predictable," Hale said quietly. "Their tactics are rigid, their patterns obvious. We strike only when it counts, and when we do, it will be precise." The human counter. Drones slipped silently through the void, moving past alien sensors as if they did not exist. Small leviathans, phased for stealth, positioned themselves behind asteroids and nebula clouds. Humans watched alien scouts, mapping their weapon ranges, communication delays, and hyperlane patterns. Every movement of the enemy was noted, every potential blind spot recorded. Then the strike began. Not a grand attack, not yet. Just a test, but devastating in effect. The humans targeted the alien scouts first. Drones infiltrated their command ships, silently disabling weapon systems and scrambling communications. Within moments, the scouts were left helpless, unable to respond or warn their own fleets. Alien commanders panicked. "How?" a Perseus admiral screamed into the comms. "Our sensors, our weapons, they knew exactly where we would be." "Tactical brilliance," Captain Hale observed calmly. "Step 2, he said. With a gesture, Leviathans phased out from cover and struck energy cores on key scouting ships. Lasers cut through armor with pinpoint precision, while humans avoided exposure to the wider fleet. The aliens were shocked. One by one, their ships were neutralized before they even realized humans had attacked. "Phase strikes, minimal exposure, maximum efficiency," Hale explained to his officers. "This is apex intelligence. They see power in numbers, but we wield strategy instead." The battle was short, but its impact was immense. Word spread quickly among alien empires: humans were not what they seemed. A fleet dismissed as minor had destroyed reconnaissance units with perfect precision, using technology and tactics that seemed impossible for their size. Alien reactions. In the Orion Command Center, Krelvash's tentacles clenched in disbelief. This minor species, strikes before we can even engage," he hissed. Advisors debated frantically. "Perhaps they are more advanced than previously thought," one whispered. Another countered, "No. This must be a fluke. They cannot possibly maintain this for a full fleet battle." Yet the humans continued their quiet observation. The alien fleets were rattled, and some commanders hesitated to advance further, afraid of unseen threats. Suspense filled the galaxy. The humans had proven themselves capable of strategic precision, even without a full-scale war. The psychological edge. Humans were careful not to overextend. Captain Hale knew that psychological impact was as important as physical damage. Alien fleets were now cautious, uncertain, and afraid to move. Every hesitation increased human advantage. "Let them wonder," Hale said. "We control the timing. We control the perception. They do not yet know the full measure of what humans can do." The psychological pressure was palpable. Alien admirals whispered among themselves, afraid to commit forces. "They predict our every move," one said. "This is apex intelligence. We cannot fight them like normal." The foreshadowing. As the human fleet pulled back into stealth, observing without exposure, a sense of suspense filled the void. The galaxy had glimpsed a new kind of warfare: intelligence, precision, and adaptation over brute force. Humans had struck first, not to destroy but to send a warning: underestimate them at your own peril. Meanwhile, Captain Hale's eyes scanned the holographic star maps. "The first strike is never the last," he murmured. "They have learned to fear us. Soon they will learn why humans rise above the galaxy itself." In that quiet tension, humans had made the galaxy pause. Alien fleets hesitated, political debates erupted across empires, and whispers of a species that could outthink entire civilizations spread through sensor networks. The stage was set. The first strike had revealed their intelligence, adaptability, and apex capabilities, but the war had only just begun. The galaxy was abuzz with whispers of the humans. News of the first strike spread faster than any hyperlane could carry a fleet. Alien empires, once confident in their supremacy, suddenly found themselves questioning everything they knew. Diplomatic channels were flooded with reports, debates, and urgent communiques. The humans, still largely invisible, had shifted the balance of fear and uncertainty across multiple sectors. In the Perseus command hub, Admiral Tyrrhenin slammed her clawed hands onto the console, watching holographic maps of the contested systems. "How can a minor species do this?" she growled. "We control hundreds of sectors. Our fleets are unmatched. And yet, they strike with precision we cannot anticipate." Her officers exchanged worried glances, uncertain if their calculations were even relevant anymore. Meanwhile, in quieter corridors of galactic politics, other empires began reconsidering alliances. Some saw humanity as a potential partner, a species of unmatched intelligence that could be leveraged. Others whispered in fear, worried that any interaction could provoke unpredictable consequences. Debate raged. Were humans a myth, a small but apex threat, or something entirely different? The truth was still unknown, and that uncertainty terrified the galaxy more than any confirmed power ever could. Humans, for their part, observed everything from cloaked positions. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the Aegis, eyes scanning multiple holographic feeds. "They are predictable," he said calmly. "Not in strength but in fear. Every empire reacts the same way when they encounter intelligence that exceeds their expectations. We use that. We manipulate it." Lieutenant Anya Voss nodded, fingers dancing over her console. "Our stealth operations continue without detection. They do not see us, yet their political debates are dictated by our actions." Hale turned, voice steady. "This is apex strategy. Not brute force, not loud victories, but influence. We bend their perception. Every empire that underestimates humanity is already playing into our hands. Prepare a report for potential weak points and alliances. We act indirectly first, and strike decisively when the time is right." Back in the Orion Council, Krelvash struggled with the realization that humans were not ordinary. Advisors argued fiercely over what to do. "We cannot attack openly, they anticipate us," said one. "We cannot ignore them, they are already influencing the balance of power." Another whispered in fear, "Perhaps they are the legends, the stories told of apex species that rise unexpectedly. We cannot hope to defeat them with conventional methods." While alien leaders argued, humans moved quietly. Small leviathans phased through hyperlanes to gather intelligence. Cloaked drones infiltrated diplomatic communication nodes, reading encrypted messages without being detected. Humans were everywhere and nowhere at once, shaping the galaxy silently, like a shadow that touched every empire without leaving a trace. Suspense built across contested sectors. In one corner of the galaxy, an Orion admiral hesitated to send reinforcements to a border system, worried that humans might already be waiting in stealth. In another, a Perseus governor ordered a fleet to hold position, fearing that their movements could be anticipated and countered before they even began. Uncertainty spread faster than any weapon could fire. Alien discussions grew frantic. Some leaders called for total eradication of humanity, seeing them as a threat to the galaxy itself. Others counseled caution, arguing that humans could be valuable allies or deterrents if handled carefully. The galaxy was paralyzed by indecision, and in that paralysis humans gained unprecedented advantage. On the Aegis, Hale observed a map of the galaxy, dots representing fleets, empires, and strategic outposts. "Every reaction they have is predictable," he said quietly. "They interpret our restraint as weakness. That is our power. We appear small but we influence everything. Soon we will control the battlefield without firing a shot." Voss glanced up from her console. "They don't know we already have access to their communication networks, their supply lines. If we act, it will be surgical and unstoppable." The humans continued to manipulate the galaxy's perception. In the council chambers of multiple alien empires, diplomats and leaders debated with growing fear. "If we strike, they anticipate us," one said. "If we retreat, they expand," another countered. No decision was easy, and every hesitation played directly into human hands. Meanwhile, the humans quietly prepared their next moves. Hyperlane maps were updated, weak points identified, and psychological strategies honed. They did not need to fight every battle. Influence, timing, and intelligence were weapons as deadly as any laser or missile. As suspense built, alien fleets moved cautiously, unsure if humans were near or far. Every sector held tension, every decision was second-guessed. The galaxy, once confident and chaotic in its battles, was now uncertain and reactive. The humans had not yet fired their main strike, and yet they were already changing the course of empires. Hale's eyes glimmered with satisfaction. "They see us as small as legends," he said. Legends are unpredictable. And when legends strike, empires tremble. In the silent void between stars, humans waited, observed, and calculated. Every empire underestimated them, every fleet misread them, and every diplomat doubted them. Yet the apex species of the galaxy had already begun their ascent, unseen but unstoppable. The stage was set, the galaxy unbalanced, and humanity prepared to reveal its true power. The galaxy had entered a tense pause. Every empire knew that humans were more than what they appeared to be, but none fully understood how far that power reached. Suspicion hung in the void like a storm cloud. Alien fleets hesitated at hyperlane junctions, diplomats debated endlessly, and spies reported conflicting accounts of the humans' true capabilities. For once, uncertainty had taken hold of the galaxy, and it worked entirely in humanity's favor. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the Aegis, observing multiple holographic feeds. Every sector, every fleet, every command post was displayed in detail. His calm gaze contrasted sharply with the tension in the alien empires. "It's time to show them why humans are apex," he said quietly, almost to himself. Not with bluster, not with sheer numbers, but with precision, adaptability, and strategy they cannot even imagine. Lieutenant Anya Voss monitored alien fleets in real time, analyzing patterns, predicting reactions, and relaying them to the command team. "All reconnaissance ships are compromised," she reported. "They cannot hide from us anymore. Every weak point has been mapped. Timing is optimal. We strike when they least expect it." From cloaked positions across the contested sectors, human leviathans phased out of nebulae and asteroid shadows. Unlike alien fleets, which relied on numbers and overwhelming firepower, humans relied on movement, stealth, and absolute timing. Ships coordinated as if they were one mind, anticipating every potential counter. Drones moved like whispers, disabling key systems, rerouting energy flows, and striking critical points with surgical precision. In the Orion Command Center, Krelvash's tentacles twitched in disbelief as reports poured in. "They are everywhere," he whispered. "Every fleet, every hyperlane junction, and we did not see them coming. How can a minor species do this?" His advisors were equally shocked, struggling to find a strategy against an enemy that anticipated their every move. "Perhaps we underestimated legends," one murmured. "Perhaps they are not just humans but something more." The first engagement began without warning. Alien fleets, thinking they controlled the sector, advanced to engage the human positions. In an instant, human ships struck. Energy beams cut through alien shields with uncanny accuracy. Missiles detonated near critical engines, disabling mobility without destroying hull integrity. The humans did not attack for destruction alone. They aimed to demonstrate control and precision, to force the galaxy to recognize the apex species it had ignored for so long. Emotional tension ran high on both sides. Alien crews were terrified, not of death, but of uncertainty. They could not understand how humans could predict every maneuver, neutralize every advantage, and strike with such efficiency. Fear spread faster than weapons fire. Alien admirals hesitated, called off attacks, and debated retreats, giving humans even more control. On the Aegis, Hale watched it all unfold with quiet satisfaction. "Notice the pattern," he said to his officers. "Every hesitation, every retreat, every misstep is because they expect the worst from us and do not know why. That is leverage. That is apex. That is humanity." In a distant Perseus sector, an alien diplomat stared at the comm feed, trembling. "They are not just ships," she said. "They are an intelligence, a force that thinks faster than we can. They are legends in motion." Meanwhile, humans quietly observed, never overexposing themselves, yet demonstrating their superiority clearly enough that no empire could deny it. The psychological impact was immediate. Entire fleets retreated to defensive positions, unsure if their sensors could be trusted. Supply lines were rerouted to avoid potential human ambushes. Political councils across empires convened emergency meetings. Discussions that had previously been calm descended into panic. "We have never faced this before," one admiral admitted. "We cannot fight them like ordinary species. We do not know what they are capable of next." Humans, however, had complete clarity. Every move was deliberate, every strike calculated. The galaxy had learned that humans were adaptable, strategic, and apex, not through rumors or myths, but through direct demonstration. Yet even as they revealed their power, they remained patient, keeping the true extent of their capabilities hidden, preserving the suspense of what might come next. By the end of the engagement, alien fleets had been pushed back, key sectors secured, and the human reputation had grown beyond fear. Across the galaxy, empires whispered of a species that could control battles without being seen, that could anticipate actions before they occurred, that could strike with precision that defied imagination. The humans had revealed their apex nature, but only enough to keep the galaxy on edge, guessing what would happen next. Captain Hale turned from the strategic displays and spoke quietly to his crew. They see us now. They fear us now. And when we move for the next step, they will know exactly why humans are the apex species of this galaxy. The void was silent once more, except for the faint hum of human ships, cloaked and ready. Suspense lingered like a living presence. Alien fleets hesitated, political factions debated endlessly, and the galaxy waited, unknowingly standing on the edge of a new era. One where humans had proven they were not to be underestimated. In that quiet tension, the apex species prepared for the next chapter. The legend of humanity had been revealed, but the true power had yet to strike. The galaxy was on edge. Alien empires reeled from the revelation of human power, unsure of how to respond. Fear had replaced arrogance and uncertainty had replaced strategy. Yet humans remained calm, observing every reaction, calculating every opportunity. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the Aegis, watching alien fleets flinch at every move. They are predictable when scared, he murmured. They react before they think. That is our advantage. The humans began their counterstrike not with sheer force but with deception. Small fleets phased near contested sectors, only to vanish before alien sensors could fully detect them. Drones infiltrated communications, feeding false coordinates and fake fleet movements, luring alien admirals into traps they didn't know were set. Entire battle strategies were manipulated without a single laser fired. Across the Orion command hub, Krelvash roared in frustration. They strike without being here. Their movements are illusions, yet we cannot trust our own eyes. Officers scrambled, trying to identify human positions, but every attempt failed. The humans were everywhere and nowhere at once, an enigma that left empires paralyzed. In a remote Perseus system, a fleet of humans appeared as if from nothing, striking supply convoys and disabling weapons depots with surgical precision. Alien commanders were furious and confused. How can such a small force inflict so much damage? One demanded. They are not supposed to be capable of this. Meanwhile, humans monitored the chaos. Lieutenant Anya Voss reported, they've moved forces into positions that leave key sectors undefended. If we engage directly now, the outcome will be decisive. Hale nodded. Step 2, we make them overcommit. Let them exhaust themselves chasing shadows. Patience is our weapon. Alien fleets began overextending. They misjudged the humans' capabilities, attacking phantom positions while neglecting their own vulnerabilities. Entire fleets were funneled into ambush zones, where phased leviathans struck swiftly, disabling engines, communications, and power grids. Alien ships were crippled without suffering total destruction. Human strategy emphasized control and psychological dominance over unnecessary casualties. Political tensions within alien empires reached a breaking point. Councils convened emergency sessions, accusing commanders of incompetence, while spies and diplomats debated the true nature of the humans. They are not just clever, they are apex, whispered one diplomat. Every strike, every deception, every calculated pause, they think like gods among us. Hale observed, noting patterns in alien responses. They do not realize we control perception, he said. Every overreaction, every panic move, is exactly what we want. The galaxy is learning to fear humanity without us firing the main salvo yet. Even as the humans struck and withdrew, alien fleets remained cautious, reluctant to move without verifying information that was often false. Strategic errors mounted. Supply lines were disrupted, defensive positions weakened, and morale plummeted. Humanity's silent influence reshaped the battlefield, bending it to their advantage before any major engagement began. Then came the decisive maneuver. Human battleships, previously cloaked near a volatile hyperlane junction, phased in simultaneously, striking key alien command vessels with pinpoint accuracy. Lasers and missiles disabled critical systems, leaving alien fleets in disarray. Communication lines were jammed, leaving admirals blind, forces directionless, and the galaxy's political balance teetering on the edge of collapse. Alien commanders were forced into a defensive stance. We cannot fight them conventionally, one admitted. Every move is anticipated. Every counter is preempted. They are something we cannot understand. Fear and frustration clashed with disbelief. Orders were delayed, alliances questioned, and hesitation spread like a virus among fleets. Humans, however, remained disciplined. They struck only where necessary and retreated with surgical precision. The goal was clear: demonstrate apex intelligence, manipulate alien behavior, and prepare the galaxy for the final reveal of their full power. The psychological warfare had been a success. Alien empires now danced to humanity's silent rhythm. On the Aegis, Hale reviewed the outcomes. "They think they've seen our strength," he said. "They have not. This is only a taste. Every fleet paralyzed, every empire questioning its decisions, every diplomat whispering legends about humans, we control it all. Soon the apex power will strike where it matters most." Across the void, alien fleets regrouped hesitantly, sending scouts with extreme caution, questioning every decision. Political debates erupted across empires, accusations flew, and fear spread faster than any weapon fire. Humans had turned the tide not with overwhelming force, but with cunning, deception, and strategy that left entire civilizations trembling. As the humans withdrew to strategic positions, the galaxy waited with bated breath. Every empire had learned the same lesson: underestimate humanity and the consequences would be catastrophic. The stage was set. The apex species had revealed a glimpse of its power, yet the ultimate confrontation was still to come. Hale's eyes reflected the stars. Let them prepare. Let them fear. The final strike will not just be a battle, it will be a revelation. The galaxy held its breath. Every alien empire, every fleet, and every political council now understood the gravity of humanity's presence. No longer mere observers, humans had become a force that could not be ignored. The earlier strikes, the deceptive maneuvers, and surgical ambushes had shifted fear into dread. Now the apex confrontation, the moment all the galaxy would remember, was about to unfold. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the Aegis, the vast tactical display showing fleets converging across multiple sectors. "Today," he said quietly, "we show them the full scope of human supremacy. No shadows, no deception. Let them see the apex species in its true form." The crew, calm and disciplined, nodded, ready to execute the final operation that would leave the galaxy trembling. Alien fleets approached cautiously, their commanders acutely aware of what humans had already accomplished. They deployed massive shields, heavy firepower, and layered defensive formations, hoping to counter the unknown variable that was humanity. But even these precautionary measures were insufficient. Humans had anticipated them all. Every fleet position, every hyperlane approach, every potential trap had been mapped and calculated. From cloaked positions, Leviathans phased into attack vectors. Smaller human frigates struck first, targeting communications and targeting systems, while the massive Aegis and its sister ships emerged from stealth, revealing the true scale of Earth's fleet. Alien eyes widened as hundreds of human battleships, sleek and deadly, filled space like a storm ready to break. The once underestimated humans were now undeniable. Admiral Thryn of the Orion fleet froze, her claws gripping the command rail. "Impossible, they cannot be this numerous, this coordinated." Her officers exchanged panicked glances. Every calculation had failed. Every prediction had been wrong. Humanity had taken the art of war to a level that defied understanding. Hale's voice came over the comms, calm and commanding, yet echoing through the void. "This is not a battle you can win. You were warned, underestimated, and now the apex species strikes. Surrender is your only option. Resistance will not be tolerated." Alien leaders hesitated, disbelief and fear coursing through their ranks. Many had thought humans were primitive, incapable of large-scale warfare, or limited by numbers. The truth was far different. Energy beams erupted across the void, striking enemy ships with surgical precision. Shields flickered and collapsed under perfectly targeted attacks. Missiles detonated near engines and weapon systems, leaving hulls intact but rendering them useless. Every movement was orchestrated to maximize fear, control, and psychological dominance. Aliens realized that humanity's power was not just in firepower, it was intelligence, anticipation, and apex strategy combined. In the Perseus sector, a human strike team infiltrated the command ship of a major alien admiral. Using precise hacking and phase stealth technology, they disabled defenses and communications simultaneously. The admiral could do nothing but watch as his fleet faltered, systems failing one by one, while human ships struck again from angles he had not even considered. Across other sectors, similar scenes unfolded. Alien alliances quarreled as fleets lost contact with each other, panic spreading faster than human weapons fire. Political councils debated desperately, trying to coordinate responses, but every plan failed. The humans had not only dominated the battlefield, they had dominated perception, communication, and control itself. Hale observed from the bridge, eyes sharp as fleets fell into their traps. "They still think they can fight on conventional terms," he murmured. "They still believe we are like them. Let them learn the truth." The Aegis unleashed a wave of attacks, not to annihilate but to demonstrate ultimate power. Alien fleets faltered, then collapsed into retreat, some surrendering outright. Across the galaxy, the apex species had declared its supremacy. In a final confrontation, the largest alien battleships attempted a concentrated strike, hoping sheer force could break the human line. The humans responded with perfectly timed maneuvers, flanking attacks, and synchronized volleys. Energy beams struck alien ships with inhuman precision. Engines overheated, shields collapsed, and the flagship of the alien fleet was disabled before it could fire a single shot. The apex power of humanity had been fully revealed. Alien leaders were left in stunned silence. No treaty, no alliance, no technology could explain what had happened. Humans were no longer a minor species. They were legends, apex predators in a galaxy that had underestimated them at its peril. Hale turned to his crew, calm and resolute. "The message is clear. The galaxy now knows, humanity is apex. We act with precision, intelligence, and restraint. But if provoked, we strike with power unmatched. Remember this. Humanity is no longer to be doubted." As the human fleet withdrew to strategic positions, the galaxy quivered in awe and fear. Empires would never again underestimate Earth. Every sector, every fleet, and every council would remember the day humanity revealed its apex capabilities. Legends had become reality, and the apex species had claimed its rightful place in the galaxy. Suspense lingered in the void, for while humans had shown their true power, the story was not over. Other species would rise, challenges would emerge, but humanity's supremacy was now undeniable, and the galaxy had been irrevocably changed. The galaxy was silent, not in peace but in awe. Every empire, every fleet, every council knew what had occurred. Humans had revealed themselves not as underdogs or observers, but as apex beings. They had struck with precision, strategy, and intelligence that none could match. The consequences of underestimating humanity were written across the void in crippled fleets, fractured alliances, and trembling leaders. Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the Aegis, gazing at the expanse of space where alien fleets had once stood proud. Now many were in retreat, some surrendering, all calculating humanity's true reach. He spoke softly to his crew, "This is the beginning of a new chapter. Not of conquest but of recognition. Let the galaxy remember, humans are apex, adaptive and cunning. We do not fight blindly. We dominate with thought, with patience, and with purpose." In distant sectors, alien diplomats convened in emergency summits. The conversations were cautious, tense, and heavily monitored. Every species struggled to understand how a single planet had produced such extraordinary power. Some whispered that humans had tapped forbidden technology, others that Earth scientists had unlocked unknown physics. But all agreed on one undeniable fact: humans were no longer a species to be underestimated. On the Aegis, Lieutenant Anya Voss reviewed data from the battles. "They will rebuild," she said, "but they will hesitate. Every empire, every fleet will think twice before acting against us." Hale nodded. "Exactly. Fear is our silent ally. Respect is our reward. And legend ensures our place." Meanwhile, human diplomats reached out across the galaxy, establishing communications with cautious leaders. They spoke of peace, alliances, and mutual benefit, but with subtle authority. No empire could deny the humans' apex capability. Humans offered guidance in trade, technology, and defense strategies, but every offer carried an unspoken reminder: humanity could strike decisively if challenged. In the Orion sector, Krelvash met with other alien leaders. "We underestimated them," he admitted, voice tinged with fear. "We laughed at legends. And now we have witnessed apex intelligence and power beyond comprehension. We are fortunate they show restraint." Across the room, other commanders nodded grimly. The lesson had been seared into every mind: humanity was not to be trifled with. Back on Earth, celebrations were quiet but profound. The apex species had proven itself not through raw aggression, but through cunning, strategy, and restraint. Citizens watched transmissions of human fleets phasing through contested sectors, disabling threats without unnecessary destruction and restoring balance. Stories of heroism, intellect, and tactical brilliance spread, solidifying humanity's mythic reputation among the stars. In orbit above Mars, a young human officer asked Hale, "Will they ever truly trust us?" Hale smiled faintly, staring at the distant stars. "Trust is not the goal. Understanding is. Respect is the goal. Fear ensures caution. And as long as humans act with intelligence and restraint, the galaxy will recognize our apex nature. One day, alliances will form not because they fear war, but because they recognize the value of humans as apex strategists, protectors, and pioneers." The final moments of the confrontation had cemented humanity's legacy. Alien fleets had been pushed back, empires recalibrated their strategies, and myths had become reality. Humans had shown that intelligence, adaptability, and apex power could triumph over arrogance, technology, and hubris. Every corner of the galaxy had learned the same lesson. Humans were not only capable, they were apex. As the Aegis and its fleet phased quietly back to Earth's defensive perimeter, Hale's voice echoed through the comms one last time. "We have shown the galaxy our strength, our cunning, and our apex capability. Let every empire, every species, and every fleet remember this day. Humanity is apex. Humanity is unstoppable. And humanity will endure." The galaxy, though still vast and filled with unknown threats, had shifted forever. Legends of humans spread across star systems, inspiring awe and respect. Alien species reconsidered their priorities, some seeking alliances, others avoiding confrontation. Humanity had not conquered through destruction, but had earned a reputation as apex strategists, apex warriors, and apex thinkers, a species capable of shaping the galaxy's fate with intelligence, foresight, and precision. In the calm after the storm, the humans remained vigilant. The battles had ended, but the lessons endured. Apex intelligence, apex adaptability, and apex restraint had secured their place among the stars. The galaxy had learned that underestimating humanity was the gravest mistake any species could make, and that lesson would echo through the void for generations to come. Humanity's legacy was no longer confined to Earth. It had risen among the stars, apex, unyielding, and legendary. And though the universe remained full of challenges, one truth was undeniable. Humans had struck fear, commanded respect, and secured their apex place in the galaxy forever.